Hello, I'm Dave Bennet, and welcome to Coffee Chat. My guest today is Jennifer Wiebe, the Office Administrator at the Neepawa Chamber of Commerce here in Neepawa, Manitoba. And welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I really appreciate the invitation.
We're going to talk about the upcoming harvest promotion that Jennifer has been highly involved in planning for the Chamber. But first of all, Jennifer, I'd like to ask you a little bit about yourself. You haven't had this position for all that long, so maybe people would like to know a little bit about your background and so on.
Sure. I'm originally from Ontario, but I married a Manitoba boy. And so we lived in Ontario for a few years, and we came back to Manitoba in 2019.
Okay.
And I joined the Chamber, and just a few months later, COVID happened. So, so I'm still in the process of meeting the membership and sort of getting things all back up into full swing. And we have one daughter who's now a nurse in Alberta.
Oh, good.
She's married and lives in Alberta, and I'm coming up on my 30th wedding anniversary in January. So,
well,
yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. We just had our wedding anniversary yesterday, and it's
happy anniversary.
almost double that.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. That's great.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then let's talk about the harvest promotion.
Sure.
That's on October the 19th. What are the times and what's happening? Give me some details about that, Jennifer.
So I'm really excited. So I had a few Chamber members approach me, and shout out to It's Time and the ladies over at the Neepawa Library. And they wanted to do something for fall and celebrating harvest, and a promotion that just happened to fit in really well with Small Business Week. So we decided on October 19th, and it's going to be from 5 till 8 p.m. And so businesses that don't typically stay open till 8 p.m. are going to stay open, and those that already do, they're going to have some specials and activities.
Right. So there's quite a few businesses that don't normally stay open past 5 o'clock, aren't they? So there will be a lot more that night.
And I have about 20 or so businesses lined up so far. Do you want me to rattle those off?
That's those that responded and have said they're
those are Chamber members that I know of that have partnered with us and said, let's jump on that and get part of that evening.
Well, sure. Let's mention the exact.
So we have Christensen TDS Law, Orv's Appliances, Hidden Hollow, which is one of our newest Chamber members and newest businesses to Neepawa. Neepawa Home Hardware, the library is going to be open. It's Time Fashion and Gifts, Boston Pizza, Your Dollar Store with More, Chicken Chef, Prairie Donaire, Giant Tiger, Fresh Mart, Safeway, Red Apple, the Roxy Theater, which we'll get into a little bit later, Subway, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Neepawa Thrift, Roder's Bakery, Lola's Bakery, Tim Hortons, and there's more non-Chamber businesses that are going to be open that night, and other Chamber businesses that probably will be open, and I just haven't heard from them yet. So,
that's quite a list. You said about 20 that have actually responded to take part in it. That's a pretty good sampling from your membership, I'm sure, because a lot of your membership it doesn't really lend itself to this type of event. But a lot of them that do have certainly decided to get on board and do this. So I assume there's some decorating going around town. Have you seen any decorations go up?
There are lots of people that got their posters up. There's a lot of people that are really kind of getting into that. And it helps that it just falls on the other side of Thanksgiving, because that sort of... We have this farming entrepreneurial community, and so we just wanted to celebrate that in a time before Christmas and all that busyness starts, which can be a lull for some businesses. And the non-businesses are jumping in too, which is great.
You mean the non-retail business?
Yes, non-retail business.
Yeah, you mentioned the law office.
Yeah, and Christensen TDS Law is going to have an open house that night.
Okay, good.
They're also going to be having a table down at the courthouse, where a lot of our events are happening at the courthouse. And
TD Law, is it?
Christensen TDS Law is going to have a few ladies down at the courthouse, and then they're going to have an open house at the office location on Ellen Street.
Well, that's good, because they're not new to town, but they're within probably 5 years maybe.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for you to kind of see what goes on, and I believe there might be some special draws. They have a drop box from the chamber as well.
I'm sure there'll be special draws. A number of businesses will have special draws. But you'll have to visit the store, of course, to take part in in the draw. So we certainly encourage people to come out from that. So you mentioned the library. What is going on there?
So they are having a vendor and makers market in their back community room. They're also having a book sale in there, and they're going to be open late as well.
What books does the library sell?
I believe they maybe sell books that either they have been donated or maybe they've gotten new editions and they're selling the old ones if they're dog-eared or
whatever,
torn pages or whatever. I know that they sell magazines as well that have different things like that. I'm not all sure what Debbie has planned over there.
A book sale. You mentioned book sale, and it draws a crowd.
It does. Rotary does that.
That's right. Rotary does very well with their book sale, and so does Margaret Lawrence Home do that. Like, it really surprises me a little bit with all of the technology and e-readers and read online and all this. But there are people still want to get ink on their hands, I guess.
I'm one of those people too that likes the feel of an
feel
old
of paper.
book. For
feel
sure.
Of paper. Well, that's good. And so that's a number of the ones that that you do have. Well, let's talk about the
other
Roxy
things
then, I guess.
So I had the privilege of speaking at the Rotary one afternoon a few weeks ago.
I heard you. You did an excellent job.
Thank you. And you guys were great, and you jumped on. Like, I got an email the next day from Rotary saying, hey, we want to be part of this event. And so the Rotary Club of Neepawa has stepped up, and they are sponsoring the free movie at the Roxy, featuring the movie Beethoven, which is a classic, awesome, great family movie that everybody can come and enjoy.
The big dog, the
right.
big Saint Bernard.
You can't go wrong with Beethoven, right? And there's probably a lot of newcomers to Neepawa too that maybe haven't seen it. So it'll be great if some of those people could come out to the Roxy, and I believe Rotary people are going to be there, so you can meet them. And I would encourage you too, if you don't know what Rotary does, what they're all about, talk to them at the Roxy and find out, and maybe there's something that you want to join up and be part of the Rotary Club.
Well, you're absolutely right. That was twofold, the idea from the Rotary Club. One, that we would, we're a chamber member as well. We've been a chamber member for
long time.
Since I joined the club, and I joined the club 40 years ago almost. We've been very supportive of the chamber over the years. So it was an opportunity for us to support and get taking part. So yes, there will be Rotarians there that night. We're running the concession. The proceeds will go to the Roxy, so we're supporting them as well. No admission, so that'll be one job will be easy. We won't have to take money at the admission. But we'll be there to meet people and supervise and clean up, of course. Cleanup's always a job that has to be done. So we're hoping that there's a big crowd. Maybe there's, you mentioned new people that maybe hadn't seen Beethoven, but maybe there's new people that have never been inside the Roxy.
And
never gone to a movie yet.
It's a wonderful, wonderful theater. Went there a few weeks ago ourselves, my husband and I, and it's great. It's always a great evening when you go to the Roxy. So 7:30 the movie starts.
7:30, right. I just throwing a little aside there, my wife and I were on a trip down to the States, and we stayed in a small town called Osceola. What was that in Michigan? No, that was in Iowa, I think. And they had a movie theater. So we're always interested in that. So, and they had decorations galore. They had that theater decorated.
Wow.
Just wonderful for harvest and Halloween and all that sort of stuff. So that was kind of neat to see an old theater down somewhere else that's running it.
So many communities nowadays too have community-run theaters. They've kept these theaters and movie houses open, and community groups get together and run them, and I think it's just a great thing for a town to have something like that in it.
It's a little easier maybe in terms of the equipment's expensive to run it, there's no doubt about that, but in terms of operations, it all comes in digitally now. When I started with the Roxy Theater, we were, the movies were being sent in on the big reels, and we had to put them on the machines and all that sort of thing. So it's changed a lot there. Well, that's good. Thank you to the Rotary Club and to the Roxy for taking part in that way. Now, you said at the courthouse, you mentioned at the courthouse, there must be something else going on there, is there?
So we're going to have, that's sort of the hub of what the chamber side of it is doing.
Okay.
So we're going to have activities there for kids. That's being sponsored and hosted by the Neepawa Gladstone Co-op. And so right outside on the lawn, just sort of all around in front of the courthouse, there'll be different activities set up for kids.
Okay.
And then we're also having a hot chocolate, hot cider fundraiser. And personally, I love hot cider in the fall. There's nothing that sort of puts you in that Thanksgiving-y mood than that
absolutely
feeling of hot cider or hot chocolate. And so we're doing that as a fundraiser for the chamber.
Okay, something special?
Yes, to raise funds for repairs that we recently had done on our float that we use in the Santa Parade of Lights.
So we got to fix up Santa's float to get
we
Santa
can't invite
here.
him all the way down to Neepawa and not give him a nice ride.
Absolutely.
So we've fixed up the float, and with special thanks to KK Penner for helping us with that. And so we need to raise a little funds to cover those repairs and improvements to the float and keep it going for a number of more years. Well, and then the Citizens on Patrol are also joining us at the courthouse to have a hot dog barbecue fundraiser. So bring some cash with you that night, because nowadays everybody is digital, right? And debit and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So make sure you have some cash to help out with the fundraisers that are going on down at the courthouse. And it'll be an exciting evening. Stuff outside, stuff for the kids, food, hot drinks. It's going to be a great night. And then all the shopping downtown and other businesses that are having specials and promotions. And I would encourage people to if you don't know who's a chamber member, go to our website. They're all on there. You can click, go to their Facebook pages and see what specials they're having. And
well, you'll have chamber people there at the courthouse. Yeah. So I'd say first stop is come to the courthouse.
Come to the courthouse.
There'll be somebody there from 5 to 8 can direct you to things happening or answer questions.
That's right.
That you have in that regard. So that is COPP wouldn't be a member of chamber.
They're not a chamber member,
that's
but
great that they're getting involved.
But they're getting involved, and it's a great opportunity. And they give so much to the community too.
Don't
Part of keeping the community safe, and so we appreciate their involvement and their willingness to kind of jump on and have something that evening too.
Exactly. I mean, they are, kind of behind the scenes a little bit, as to they're not right. Out front and center all the time, who they are. So that's Citizens on Patrol, right? Program, and that they assist the RCMP and by being out and about and watching for things over certain. They have shifts as well, don't they? That they take. So that's.
And they're always looking for volunteers. So is the Roxy always looking for volunteers. So
volunteering, if I can put my 2 cents worth in, I mean that's my life really. When when I quit teaching, before I was. When I even was teaching, but I mean that's kind of keeps me going really. If I wasn't volunteering, I don't know, I'd have nothing to do. Really.
And the Neepawa Fair that the chamber puts on every year we couldn't pull that off without our volunteers. And we had a whole bunch of new volunteers, newcomer volunteers, new people to Canada that came and joined, and that was amazing. They were so great.
Well, we certainly hope to get the Filipino community out on this event to see a little more about what how things happen around our town and so on. So
and I would just, in addition kind of that, I would say there's a lot of things going on downtown, but there's stuff going a little further afield too. So we have a draw for $100 in chamber bucks.
Oh, okay.
And if anybody doesn't know what a chamber buck is, it's like a little coupon, almost like a gift card or gift certificate. And businesses give them, sometimes people get them as staff bonuses, or you can buy them for a friend, and you can give them to a participating chamber member, and I have a list of who accepts them that I give out with every chamber buck we sell.
Oh, okay.
So they'll know where they can spend them.
And that's a large number of places. It's almost 100, I think you were telling me.
Yeah, we have about 106 chamber members right now, and probably about 100 of them accept the chamber bucks. Banks and different people like that can't accept them.
Okay.
But if you've spent the evening downtown and you feel like maybe you want to go a little further afield, Boston Pizza, Chicken Chef, all our restaurants on the west side of town. The Ontario girl had to think.
I was wondering about that.
On the west side of town, Boston Pizza has a ballot box there, so you can enter the contest to win those chamber bucks at Boston Pizza and at Neepawa Home Hardware.
Now that, just to clarify, that box is only going to be sitting there for
till the end of that evening.
Till 8 o'clock. Or maybe a little later, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'll go collect them, and then I'll do the draw the next day.
The next day,
yeah.
Okay. So
and we'll put it on Facebook.
And those boxes aren't out the day before.
They are out now.
Oh, they're out now.
Yep, so you can, we want people to talk about this, get used to this, see this, and be excited and be part. I think, especially thinking of Chicken Chef, I know that, and Boston Pizza too, they often send, farmers will often order big dinners to go out to the workers that are working the fields for harvest.
Surely.
And so they've been really busy doing these dinners, and I think it's great that our community does those sorts of
supports
things.
Each other.
In that kind of way. And it's sort of a modern twist on the farm dinner, to have a restaurant bring it out,
I've heard of that, of course, but I hadn't heard that it was actually happening just locally right now. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I have a husband that works in farming areas. He does trucking and whatnot, so
he knows about that.
Yeah, he knows about the field dinners and lots of restaurants in town. Different, they want something different. They have a different order from somebody different. It supports local. It keeps those funds local, and I just think that's great. So Boston Pizza, Chicken Chef, they both have ballot boxes. Neepawa Home Hardware has a ballot box, and so if you feel like eating out afterwards or doing a little shopping afterwards, you can visit us at the courthouse, and you can head out that way too.
It sounds like there's a really, you've done a lot of work, Jennifer, and on behalf of the community and the chamber, we want to thank you for all the effort, and you're excited about it too, so other people get excited about it.
Well, I hope it's a really great night. I hope the community really feels that it's almost like a Thanksgiving event for the town. You've had Thanksgiving with your family, and now, hey, let's go out and let's have Thanksgiving with the town. Let's shop and, get those little things that you can tuck away for Christmas and, just meet people. Maybe you haven't seen people in a while.
Find out what's happening in the town as well. I mean, there's people that they tend to hibernate unless you can drag them out with something going on.
I think the banner's going to be open that night too. So you can, they've got a drop box. If you ever
they'll be
wondered,
out and about, and NAC TV, of course, will be as well, filming.
So it's a good chance if maybe you haven't been to a couple places, you always wondered what it kind of looked like in here, you can maybe take a quick peek.
Well, that's right. You don't necessarily have to be planning to buy anything or do business there, but it's an open house type of environment that you're trying to promote as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, that's really great. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left or so maybe we can talk a little bit about some other things that that the chamber is happening with. I know you got your Santa Parade and coming up. You want to tell me a little bit about how that's going?
Yeah, so the Santa Parade of Lights is going to be on November 25th. The parade starts at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And I encourage businesses that are chamber members and non-chamber members to reach out to me, and we'll get you on the list if you want to enter a float. And I encourage community groups, church groups, agricultural, 4-H, gymnastics, any kind of
recreational groups.
If you have a team and you have an idea for a great float and you want to march down the street with your float, just reach out to me and I'll send you a form and we'll get you in on the Parade of Lights. And it's a great, last year I think we had 30 floats or vehicles entered in the parade.
And
and so that's a really fun night, and I also need helpers for that too. Volunteering.
Volunteers, there you go.
There
you go.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see Jennifer down there on the 19th, so speak to her if you'd like to help, or that you could possibly offer some help in some way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if we get that float, the town float fixed up that Santa's going to ride on, then we'll get Santa with a big smile on his face.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he also stops by the Roxy Theater that the same day that the parade on the 25th.
Right.
Kinley Thompson, who is a great accounting firm in Neepawa, for many years they have sponsored the free children's movie matinee at the Roxy, and it usually runs from 2 to 4 p.m. So you can go see Santa. He usually brings some treats with him. And you can watch a movie and then hang around town and then see the parade at 6 o'clock.
Afterwards, so that would encourage some of our out-of-town viewers, and NAC TV has a large number of out-of-town viewers. So we encourage them to come to Neepawa. That was on November the 25th, the Santa Claus parade for this year in Neepawa with the free movie.
That's right.
In the afternoon as well. So, and
I'm
sure that stores will, of course, there must be a Christmas craft sale, do you know, in the works for this year?
I'm not sure if there's one. Yes, I think there is at Arts Forward.
Yeah, there's a number of things going on.
There usually is a bunch of things going on that day,
Okay, well, and any other promotions that are like upcoming that the Chamber Board has been talking about at all?
We're working on bringing in some workshops. There is actually, we're doing tonight actually, there's a workshop in Minnedosa, so the Minnedosa Chamber of Commerce, and we've done a few joint.
You have, because that big idea is joint between the two towns anyway, right?
Yeah, that's coming up. That's the business fair. People present their ideas, and there's usually a prize that goes along with that. So what's the big idea? You can look into that.
I interrupted. What's the workshop about?
The workshop tonight is about networking. So one of the things the Chamber likes to do, we have events called Business After 5, which is when a different Chamber member will open their business, and Chamber members can come, they can meet, and they can network. And so, but you need to have intent when you do that. And what kind of relationships can you form? And what kind of questions do you want to ask when you're meeting people? So networking with intent is one of the subjects tonight. Conflict management is one of the subjects tonight. Basically, just different techniques for businesses to use and entrepreneurial skills. And so that's tonight in Minnedosa.
Okay, and that's a joint opportunity to Neepawa and Minnedosa Chambers of Commerce and the businesses that belong to them.
We did a cybersecurity one with Minnedosa as well a few months back, and, and that was really well attended.
It was good.
Yeah. So and then our AGM is the next thing, and we just found out our speaker is going to be Chuck Davison, who is the president of the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce. So he's going to come down from Winnipeg and be speaking to us that evening. So, and the AGM is on January the 29th.
29th, and that's usually a dinner.
It's a dinner, and it's going to be at the Legion Hall this year.
Well, we'll encourage people to get out to that. And I'll mention that at Rotary too, since we're a chamber member.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some representation, perhaps.
That's right. Yeah.
Perhaps to that. Well, that's good. Boy, you do a big job, and you're just thinking way ahead all the time, too. So
trying to. I'm sure the membership is very pleased to have you on board. You've been, about 3 years now? This October is my 4th year.
Your 4th year that you've been involved. Wow, that's...
And I couldn't have done this if I hadn't learned from the best. Barb Bone was my teacher, and she was the administrator before me, and she was amazing, helped me and taught me and trained me.
So you were able to work with her for a number of months?
I worked with her a year and a half, maybe 2 years before she retired.
Oh, wow.
So, she's great.
Well, that's great that the Chamber Board and that would see the value of the two of you working together, and for her to do that as well. No, she's a great gal. I know Barb.
And I would say on that point, that idea of succession, I would like to say to any chamber members that are out there, we could use people on our board. We had a few members of the board that had to I don't know if you call it retire, but their terms, I guess, were coming to an end. And so we would love to have some new board members. And if you have ideas of things you'd like to see, or you want to be part of the chamber board, or you're not a member yet, reach out to me at the chamber office. And my email is info@neepawachamber.com, or our phone number is 204-476-5292. And if you want to talk to me about what it takes to be a board member, just give me a call and I'll...
Well, if I was going to be a board member of an organization and they had someone in the office as excited and easy to work with as you, I think it would be very easy to say, yeah, sign me up. I think it would be, yeah, you make it sound like, hey, this would be a fun job to be a board member. And really, it's not, you know, there's a bit of work involved, but I mean, somebody's doing the bulwark and that's you, right?
Well, and I couldn't do it without we have subcommittees and those people. Especially, I'd like to give a shout out to Ali from the Neepawa Gladstone Co-op is a big help to me.
Ali Petretko,
yes,
am I saying that
yes,
right?
Yes, and she helps with marketing and just great, so shout out to her.
That's her position there at the co-op. And who's the board chair right now?
Right now we're having like a floating, different people take different turns every month hosting the meeting and chairing.
Pam was recently.
And Carrie McPherson was the last one.
Okay.
So we're looking for a president in 2024.
Oh, isn't everybody looking for, I know we are. We are in Rotary for next year too. That sort of thing. So, well, that's great. We talked about the membership and so on. There's what's it cost to be a member of the...
It's based on how many employees you have. And you can also be a chamber member as an individual.
Yes.
You don't have to be a business
or an organization or anything for that's maybe $20 or something.
And we also have an insurance plan, so called Chambers Plan.
Oh yeah.
So if a company doesn't have group benefits, they can get group benefits through the chamber.
Oh really? They can work group benefits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. From 1 employee to 50 employees. It doesn't. And we have about 10% of our membership are on that plan.
On that plan.
Yeah, and it's with the whole province, so it's a good system.
So there's one great advantage if that's something you're looking for, you know, to be a member, as well as the promotion that the chamber does for the town and all the businesses and so on. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. Yes.
Well, I'm a chatty Cathy, so it's
I
could go on for a long time.
Easy interview then. Thank you very much. I'm Dave Bennet, and my guest today has been Jennifer Wiebe. She's the Administrative Officer at the Neepawa Chamber of Commerce. Join us again next time for an interesting coffee chat.